project consisted of 8 mechanical rooms, as Dinos had alluded to. And this is a typical example of what we were given to work with, and now we had to weave all of our pipe in and around through all that piping. And it would have been just unbelievably difficult to have done it and made it look good and functional. So it was a real challenge to do that. Again, there's a typical drawing, what you would get as an IFC document, and to build it from that, we have, and you know, thank heavens for new technology. It's making things certainly a whole lot easier. There's that famous mechanical room again with those tanks, and that was a prime example of how there's just no way that we could have built that on site like that. And no disrespect to the design fraternity, that there are maybe some here, and I apologize too if we say or do things that offend you, but it's you know, that's just the way it's been for a lot of years, and we're really glad that this new technology is coming along, because we as tradesmen and contractors we want to make things look as pretty as we can too. And you know, even, I mean, this one was a really, we didn't use the BIM system on this building, and even as good as it looks, there were still issues where when we went to build it, there was pipe here that we, you know, did our normal, draw it on a piece of cardboard and then try to install it, and then we get it there and we found out that there was stuff in that mechanic room that wouldn't fit, and we spent considerable money just making it fit. And with the BIM program now, we would have that completely resolved with Laheen before we had to go do it. And so unbelievable savings in being able to do that. So, you know, going to the BIM, and here's again a point cloud of an existing mechanical room, and again we had to weave a lot of pipe in and around that. And this point cloud is quite a machine that it's like a survey machine, and you just take it in and you put it inside of an existing mechanical room, and you put it in about 3 different places, and it just circulates around and around and takes pictures, and then you'll get it on all sides of the pipe. And so now when Laheen would get that information, she was able to start weaving the pipe through there and do it without running into those conflicts. You know, so here's an example of that mechanical room, and you can see our pipe that's now been installed in that maze of pipe that was already there. And again, we really did a good job on this one, and I think that the reason we did was because we had these drawings to work with. There was a lot of effort with the field team communicating with BIM, or Laheen, as she had mentioned there, because it was, for those of you know the different codes, we were designing this to be 31.1, which is a very high level of finishes and requirements, be it the pipe materials and even the welding processes. So you really had to be careful that you did it right the first time, and again, BIM helps in that format to be able to do that. Again, here's that famous tank room again, and you know, Laheen with her pretty colors that she can draw in, and then us with our capabilities of taking that and put that pipe into an actual working installation. We knew we had to prefab, and these drawings gave us that capabilities. We could get it down to within a millimeter of a requirement, and we didn't have our own fab shop at that time, so we literally created a little tent city in one of the parking lots at UBC, and we actually had 4 welders at one time going out there, and we had these drawings that were perfect. Every dimension was laid out, and so we were able to make these fittings in a size that would fit into the room, and then make the position welds in there. They were so accurate that we didn't have to rework any of those spools because they fit, and nothing better than fitting. So and here's an example where we can build that on site and bring it in and hook it up to the piece of equipment. And that's really a challenge for those that maybe don't get that opportunity to do that. Our field crews are really getting comfortable with this now, and they're looking forward to more challenges that we will get like this and be able to create, for lack of better words, art. I mean, we're quite proud of what we're able to do, and when we make it look good, it helps everybody. So again, the field crew is really excited about what BIM will happen in the future. Instead of seeing people walk around with big sets of blueprints, you're going to see them walking around with iPads, and that information will be on that iPad, and if there is a conflict, it'll be that quick that you can send an email out and to all the parties, and that problem, and then the problems still do exist in the BIM world. It's just that we're able to deal with them a whole lot quicker and faster, and so you'll see people on site, like I say, they'll have iPads and realize an issue and see it and then send it to all the parties and be solved in a matter of, an hour or something, which otherwise it would take days and weeks. So there's all kinds of advantages to the BIM, and one of them, the field crew buying into it and being quite thankful for it. This was a maze, this piping, and I don't know, I think it looks pretty good, and you had to see it to believe it. This different equipment that you can get that will give you that information that you can use on site. If you can envision a building like this here, and you've got all kinds of pipe running around, and you have equipment like this that will take the information from the BIM model, and it'll lay out. One person will stand here in this room with a machine like this and be able to pinpoint all the hangers for all the pipe. He'll be able to pinpoint sleeves that are going to go through the floor, and it'll make the installation just that much more neat and tidy, and then look good. So lessons learned using BIM now is that you really need to start it. The minute you know that you're going to have a project, you want to get in with the BIM program as quick as you can, and it'll just make it that much more easy flowing, and schedules, and just all kinds of advantages to that. Scan BIM tool, very valuable in jump-starting design on renovation projects, as what we did here at UBC District Energy System, and again, it speeded up our process considerably. I would have hated to have seen if we wouldn't have had the BIM. It would have been, and prefab, the way to go. As I was talking about, we were able to create these spools of piping that we could take and put into a mechanic room, and they would fit. I mean, it's amazing how accurate we were. So the advantages are enormous. Our expanded current visions, I think I'll turn that over to Bob, and he'll elaborate on that in more detail.